Is Collingwood about to pull off the biggest trade coup that we've seen in AFL history by signing Zak Butters this offseason? Let's talk about it. So, in a bit of an explosive news story by, one of the best in the business, Mitch Cleary, he reported that 4 weeks before the season was over, Zak Butters walked into Port Adelaide's offices and said, I might think about getting home to back to Victoria by this off season. And Port Adelaide, of course, they said no bloody way. He's the best player, one of the best players in the country, 24 years old. They said no, that's not going to happen. Now, Zack Butters is a restricted free agent at the end of 2026. So he is in what the journos and trade radio and stuff call the pre-agency. So this is where a player is out of contract at the end of the next season, where they're a free agent, and this is when they're most valuable, where clubs can get the most currency for that player. Now, first off, insane, right? Insane that he would want to come home. Geelong are looking at him. The Bulldogs are looking at him as well. I don't know if Collingwood, there's no way Collingwood can get him. I can't see Geelong getting him this off season if they're going for Kerno, if they're going for Rowan Marshall as well. I heard from a source close to Leopard that Butters has got 1 foot at AIA Centre and 1 foot in Port Adelaide at the moment. But I heard in regard to that for free agency next year at 2026, where we can put an offer into him. So if we say, okay, Zach, we're going to give you $1.2 million for 6 years, Port Adelaide can then match that bid, right? Just like De Koning and Silvani, like they could get those bids matched. So that's what we would be dealing with in 2026. Same thing with Ben King in 2026. He comes out as a restricted free agent. We can do the same thing, offer him big money, and then Gold Coast have the opportunity to say, yes, we'll match it, or no, we won't match it. Now, Zak Butters is a bit of a different one. He would not only make our team extraordinarily greater than it already is, he would make every single Victorian team better. The only ones that I've heard are in the running at the moment are us, Geelong, and the Bulldogs, like I just mentioned.
And now they need to be clean. They're not. Butters intervenes. Butters to seal it. Butters does it. Eyes wide with.
Now, the interesting thing, a couple of months ago, Cal Toomey on Gettable said this.
There is a feeling around the Pies, around the competition, that they have a big fish locked in. It's just a matter of who that is. Ooh. That's something. Just keep an eye on that one. There's a feeling there's a locked and loaded player at Collingwood. It's just a matter of who it is.
Now, there was talk that we were landing a big fish. A lot of people thought it was Rao, but Rao signed, I think, about a few weeks after that video came out. We thought it might have been JSOS. Could that big fish be Zak Butters? Would it be feasibly possible to get him into the club? When you look at it now, you have to say there is no chance in hell. You've got a better chance of snow forming in hell before Zak Butters can come to Collingwood. I'm not going to sit here and give you 1,000 different options of how it could work because at the moment we don't have the picks. We're not giving up any players. And if I hear Bobby's name, fancied around again, I'm going to lose it because he's so adamant and the club is so adamant that he is staying. Now, unless something changes from here until the trade period, which opens in a couple of weeks, sure, something could happen. But right now, it doesn't look like it's happening. Could he be the only player, going to West Coast to get us a pick? Sure. But I just don't see it happening, especially with the way Bobby is training. He's playing for the Fitzroy Stars, I think they're called, in the Indigenous team with like Neville Jetta and Eddie Betts and getting back into football and just looking great and wanting to hit the ground hard, posting so many stories about Collingwood, was at the Copeland. So that's all well and good. So I'm not going to give you 1,000 trade scenarios. I just think it's really interesting that Zak Butters would want to come home now. And if Port Adelaide are smart, like, yes, you're going to be losing out on Butters and an opportunity, but if he's already said he wants a trade to come to Victoria, this is the time where you can get the maximum amount you can get for him.
Hands Swoops. Goals. Tap, set play to Butters, who throws his boot at it and puts it through for another. Butters to Bond. The ricochet. Butters, superb. Butters!
Now, a couple of things I do love about players this day and age is, yes, you have all of these recruiters and list managers and Craig McRae and all these guys, but don't forget that these players talk to each other all the time and they're active recruiters in the scene themselves. We got Dan Houston from Port Adelaide, so that could persuade Butters, you would think, a little bit. But here are two little tidbits from Craig McRae about Steele Sidebottom talking to Zack Butters at the Brownlow, and then I'll introduce the other one. So this is Craig McRae talking about Steele Sidebottom.
Steele Sidebottom come up to me in my first year, a couple of years ago, and he said, he's quite cheeky, Steele. He goes, "Don't be fooled, Fly. This is the best place to recruit. Who do you want?" And I'm laughing. I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Tell me who you want and I'll go get him." And I looked over to the table next to us and there's a young Zack Butters. I said, I wouldn't mind Zack. And I'm laughing and I'm smiling at Zack, and next minute Steele's over sitting next to him. And without this is how it played out. He sat there for about 2 hours next to, I don't know where.
Two in his ear.
Zack's girlfriend couldn't come back to sit at the table because Steele's there, and he's got his arm around him, and as the night went on, Steele got a bit looser and looser, and to the end, he wouldn't leave him. He was pestering him, like tagging him.
So to me, really interesting, right? Really interesting, really funny. And you can see that they're just trying to sweeten them up. So that was only from September last year. So 2024, he still had 2 years left on his contract. Now, this is from Nick Dacos getting interviewed on Fireball with Kane and Kingy. This was after he won the AFL MVP, who he voted for and why he voted for them.
You were voted the AFLPA MVP. Who did you vote for? Who would you have given your vote to?
Zack Butters. He's my man. I think he's the best player in the competition. Does it all. He's as tough as they come. He rises to the occasion. Quick, powerful. He's my favourite player. I can't speak more highly of him. I love watching him play, and I think he's probably the most complete footballer there is.
Now, that is a raging, just like, I love you, come to the club, play with me, we could build a dynasty here. Now, the thought of having Nick, Zach together with Josh there, with Scott Pendlebury still on a year, it is just something else. Now, for the last few weeks, I have said that Collingwood, I think they're cooking. There's no way we're just picking up delisted free agents when all these other clubs are getting better, getting Curnow, getting Draper, getting Oscar Allen, getting Warren Marshall. So there's no way Collingwood, who finished third overall, top four, made a prelim. There's no way we're just sitting on our hands, keeping the old guys, getting rid of a few, and only bringing in Jacob Blight and Jack Buller. Yes, they're going to be good players, but they're not going to turn the needle for, a premiership or a flag till. I think we're cooking up something, and I think it really might be Zack Butters.
3 from Butters. Set on the follow-up. Good enough to get it to Butters. Butters. When goals have been hard to come by, he shows again. Butters waves the toast of the footy world. This time, off hands it was to Butters on his non-preferred neat ball. That was just perfection.
Now, here's another thing that I thought was really interesting. Zack Butters talking about the Chincotta tag and where he learned this run to the bench but then run back out sort of move from.
Take us through that tactic to lose the tag, and he went to the bench, you stayed on.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Vision during the week, watch a lot of footy, and I prepare for everything, and the little things add up in games of footy, and I think if I can get free for an extra 5 minutes and help the team perform and win, I think that helps me, and I actually got it off Nick Dacos. I've seen him do it a couple times last year, so I thought I probably had to have the kit bag.
So you can see that there's a lot of love between Nick and Zach, and maybe I'm delusional, like I just came back from a 10-kilometre run, so maybe my head is just all with the fairies at the moment, but man, from what I'm hearing and from, I don't have super good sources at the moment around this, but from what I heard, talk to a journo as well, it looks like Collingwood either this trade period, definitely, look, we're definitely going for him next trade period, right? Because Cal Toomey said this.
I'd strongly expect Collingwood to be right in the thick of the Zack Butters sweepstakes next year. So they don't have picks, but they have free agency options. In saying all of that, if Butters left Port Adelaide, I think it'd be matched in a heartbeat as well. So if he does eventually look at moving from Port Adelaide as a free agent next year, but I think Collingwood would be giving it a shake.
Obviously, everyone would be stupid not to ask Zack Butters the question. But could this be the big fish in 2025 leading into 2026 that we've been talking about for the last few months? Let me know your thoughts down below. Give me trade scenarios down below. Maybe I'll do a video on the best ones that I see. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.